All right. I was just goofing, and I was singing the Mr. Rogers song. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Because I was gonna change my, I gotta change my shirt. Hello, friends. John Zander. Good to see you, brother. Is it still morning? I think it's afternoon now. And something that makes this day special to me is that I found my Sweet Army shirt. Hi, Sam Cook. I found my Sweet Army shirt, and boy, do I like it. It's a good wear. So I'm gonna top off the American Nomad hoodie, which is my everyday hoodie, and I'm gonna put on this wonderful everyday wear United States military grade shirt. Michael O, so good to see you. Been thinking about you a lot. And Gordon Michaud, good to see you here today with me in the workshop. Oh boy, friends, it's winter time in the Midwest. It's cold outside, not very today, it's 35 degrees outside. Brian Kjar. Hey guys, check this out. Look at this bunch of decks. Look at that. These are all for the upcoming skate clinics I'm doing this year in the spring. I'm going to start as soon as I get back from the Tampa Pro. I'm going to start doing Steve Collins. Good to see you. I was just showing everyone this nice rack of completes I've got for the going to be doing skate clinics this year. And these are, I think I'm going to change out a couple of them because they're so controversial. Most of these are really relatively unused as well. But I may leave them just as they are because I love the inspiration they give me. Lots of those are shapes that I really relate to. So I'm about to roll a batch of glue here. Loved seeing the House of Pawn decks that I did. Loved seeing those selling this week over in Bradenton, and thought I might take a minute to kind of explain something. I have a real bad reputation for shops. Folks ask me, you know, what shop can I find your boards in, and that's a really good question because skate shops have had a real hard row to hoe over the last 10 years or so. And tell you, I have a lot of respect for the difficulties that are being faced by a lot of people in the retail end of this, in the retail quadrant. I'm just fixing you guys a little bit here because I've got minor technical issues with, there you go. So these are my short plies. You know, I call the plies for anything that's weird. Lots and lots of wood comes through, and it's, you know, in every batch of wood, there are short ones. So these get culled out and collected, and when I have a short deck order, I press with these. I just set these over here for now. And then this is a pre-collated pack. Jason Wren. Hey, by the way, Jason, I've had a little bit of trouble burning that graphic. And I will be at you with results on that when we talk next. But this morning I was stoked yesterday because those House of Pawn decks, I've got the blotters here. These are just a couple of blotters, but you know, when I work with a skate retailer, what I do is different. Fickle is, I'm different from a lot of brands out there because the brand is, good. Bryce and Jason will be talking later today. I'm going to actually talk to you guys from the dark room today because I'm going to be down there again. Looking forward to rounding third base on this project we've got going. When I work with a skate shop like House of Pawn, I know I couldn't figure out how to work with skate shops for a long time, because skate shops exist under a really hard historical pressure, because industry-wide, Aaron Norris, dude, I hate this, but look what I have. Aaron, this is me, this is for you, it's going out this week. And you know what, feel free to check back with me. I hate that sometimes it's procrastination and sometimes it is other situations, but there's no excuse in being so late on shipping out a package. This thing has been sitting in front of me, haunting me, and I suck at the mail call. And I lost my mail. I lost my mail service. Used to have that designated, and my guy who did the mail runs for me is now meaningfully and gainfully employed doing some other stuff, and it's back on me, and I kinda suck at man, daily life. Guys, has anyone else got this thing where daily life is man, I have had periods of my life in which I've been extremely disciplined and highly productive, and working in skate has been really cool, and I'm really happy that I've been able to. I love this garment because you can really tighten up the sleeves, keep them out of the work. Need to stop wearing rings too. Working solo in here, but I wanted to talk about skate shops, and I'm chipping away at telling you guys how it goes. We only have one skate shop on our roster right now. It's HOP down in Bradenton, Florida, where I will be spending a couple days this March after the Tampa Bro that we do at the Tampa Pro. The Tampa Bro is a meeting of like-minded folks based in the Welfare Line Skateboard Collectors. And we meet up down in Tampa. We enjoy the Tampa Pro, and it's just a lot of love. And when I first started working in skate, I worked for a brand, and I probably told you guys before, but you know, it bears repeating. I used to take product to shops and make sure they were stocked, and it was fun. A skateboard sold to a shop for anywhere from $27 to $32, and a shop would sell it for $45 to, they'd make anywhere from $18 to down to $8 on the sale of a board, and it was fun. I liked it. And when Fickle first started, when I was doing all of those up there, not all of those are Fickle, but a lot of those are early Fickle. When Fickle started and I was doing those, I had a really good time going to shops and stocking shops with the boards. And then as time went on, I changed Fickle. Just about a year in, I realized that there was no future in that model because your OEM wasn't going to take care of you. So I changed that model into the workshop. Started with my basement. You guys know the story, and wound up really needing to change up the game. So having made my own press and all that, I started making decks, and my first pricing was at $45 a board. It was really reasonable, and now I'm at $70 a board base price, and it's still reasonable for what you're getting. And here's a stack of them right here. Easily half of these are custom orders, and I work directly with the skateboarder to get them onto what they love and what they want, and that's good. My metric was serving skateboarders, and shops were really tough because shops have been under a lot of pressure, and they can't win. Shops much respect to shop owners who are trying to figure out how to keep selling a skateboard for less than $60 while they've gone from paying like $27 a board to up into the 40s now, buying wholesale. If they want the new thing, they're dealing with brands that are owned by distributions. I don't want to go into that, but that's a big problem. When a brand is owned by a distribution, and then the distribution sells direct to skaters, here's what you get. And this has been happening over the last 2 years a lot. You get shop pre-orders the new product, looking forward to selling it at a good profit or a better profit. They're still not making a lot of money per deck. They're making less per deck every year. And so the shop pre-orders a really good product, prepays, and then the brand distro combo puts that product up for sale direct to the skater online. The skaters come in and they just snap up all that product, and the shop gets an email, says, okay, you ordered all this product, we're sending your money back because it's sold out direct. Now, why does the brand distro combo do that? Why do they do that to the shop? Because the margin on a direct sale is way higher. So if they're making $15 a board selling it to the shops, it's great that the shop ordered 100 of them, and that's a $1,500 product. But if then they get the chance to sell that product out from under the shop and just return the money, they can make $3,000 instead of $1,500 with those boards. And it's a no-brainer for an industry that has put price over service and quantity over quality for over 20 years. Since the 90s, we've not appreciated deeper, longer-term vision and values in our industry, and it's killing shops. And I don't like that. I have a long history of being really cool to shops. Shops sometimes are offended at me that I call out behaviors, especially if there's bullying and especially if there's drug BS going on. I'm definitely going to call those things out. Always have, always will. But get past that, and you can see that I really root for shops. But when I started Fickle, I didn't know how to interface with shops. We did quite a lot of business. We sold lots of boards in Savannah, Georgia, where Woody's Skate Park knew the value of having me and the team come down. They bought boards. The boards sold really well. Definitely proved that Fickle was a saleable brand and a profitable brand. A shop made $20 to $25 per deck with Fickle selling in the shop. They were able to sell at our MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price, and they made good money on every sale. They were motivated by profit to sell them, and they were also motivated by presence. We came down and we made sure that their local area was really stoked on Fickle boards. It was a lot of fun to do it, because how do you do that? You skate with people. Super fun. Lots of fun. I don't have any complaints about that back in the day with Woody's. 2011, 12, 13, 14. I think the last time I sold boards to Woody's, they closed, was in 2014, 15. Maybe as late as, I don't think 2016 I sold any down there. But they paid a premium price per board. They paid, let's see, they were selling, they were paying like 45 bucks a board, 50 bucks a board. And that's what I do. I do 50 bucks a board, $55 a board for shops, and my MSRP is 70. And then no shipping. No shipping means that the cost of shipping is embedded in the price, and that's a pretty good value. So I do 10 board minimums, and HOP was stoked to pick up 25, and we took it slow because we're prototyping this relationship with shops. We want it to be quality, so we took it slow. We sent them a pack of, let's see, 16 boards along the shapes they were asking, and then we asked them, what shapes would you like now? and we took their order for the next 19 boards and spread it along the shapes they wanted then. That's Floyd Howard Pruitt at House of Pawn in Bradenton, Florida. And then we did a custom graphic with them. They sent us their logo, and my in-house artist and brother in faith and work is David True, and he redrew it, and we burned it, and we did a fully unique take on the House of Pawn jackalope. And that's actually right in here. I did have it in my hands earlier. I like seeing boards on the bench. I love surrounding myself with old boards that have been ridden that are still perfectly good. I did a little redecorating in that room. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I moved a bunch of things around. And so working with a shop, we always do this. No upcharge, no art charge. We redid the jackalope. This is a test print, so it is not as on point as the final ones were, but you can see that every one of them is a Fickle collaborative graphic, and it's a 2-color graphic. 2 colors is as many as I want to register in the shop, and a 2-color graphic at no upcharge, no craziness, and that means actually doing the artwork on the boards. And then I'm gonna bring you guys down like that. I'm liking this tripod now. I'm starting to get a hang of it. Oh, that's funny. Right when I say I'm starting to get the hang of it, I have a big to-do. Let's see if I can get you guys tightened back up. It looks like it broke, but that's okay. I can work with it. Let's see if I can make any sense of this now. Let's see, 1, 2, and get you pointed at me. I want to show you the screens. I've seen collaborative graphics with wheels before, where Spitfire will do a collab, and it's the same idea. Same idea. You know, we made the screens here. There's the black. Here's the white. Let's see, there you go, there's the white. And all the boards go through the process, whatever shapes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm really not trying to sell a whole bunch of boards to shops, because the thing that matters to me, I've always been a super strong advocate for healthy skate shops. There's a high degree of nostalgic there's a high amount of nostalgia that I have for skate shops. I think a lot of us are really nostalgic about skate shops and want skate shops to flourish, but they don't. Did you notice that? So I'm looking for really good relationships with skate shops. I've also seen that skate shops have a lot of power to hurt my reputation. I had a skate shop send me a message on Facebook Messenger and really go to town, actually kind of belly aching about how the quality of the decks makes it impossible to carry them, because people want them and they last way too long. Oh, Jeremy Garner, God bless you. It's nice of you to say something like that to me. People want them, but they last too long to sell. And I think that's a really interesting, I'm going to take you out of this tripod. Here, guys, why don't you take a look at the world you're inhabiting. See, there's my tripod. And I'm going to switch you into my, my wall hanging clip here. Chris Gobert, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining me in the workshop today. Yeah, skate shops are awesome. I think a lot of us have got really strong nostalgic attachment to the days of yore, where you'd go to the skate shop and they'd tell you where the spots are. Oh, I love that. And I have really good memories of skate shops when I was a kid. And I have always been good to skate shops. Now, there are some skate shops that feel like I haven't been good to them. I can't control how everyone feels all the time, but if a skate shop is running drugs, or if a skate shop sponsors guys or girls who bully youth or pick on people, they're gonna get some words, and if a skate shop complains that my boards last too long and are not profitable by merit of their quality, they do not have my respect. That's not a respectable complaint. A skate shop ought to offer a premium quality product at a premium price. Now this is making me feel sick inside. And what do I do when I feel sick inside? I talk about knives. And I've shown this one before, but this is a handmade knife from a file, a 100-year-old file. And this is the first knife ever made by Ben Winchester, who is now a knife maker in his own right. He tooled up and got his shop going after making this one for me, and it's made out of a file, and I just think it is the neatest workshop tool, and man, does it ever hold an edge. He put a really nice, gracious, large edge on it. I love this edge, and I use it all the time. It's got glue on it right now. And another knife, because talking about skate shops, it includes a lot of heartbreak, we might as well do a second knife. This is my other workshop knife, which I've never featured. This was made for me by Timothy Barkley of Maximus Skateboards, and it's a little Elk Ridge assisted folder, and it's a liner lock, and it springs a little gummy. Oh, there it is. Nice. Nice little, and this one also is used in cutting plastic here and doing some fine detail work, and it is made with there's obviously you can see that skateboard wood right there. Guys, I just do this to refocus. This one is made with Fickle skateboards, the blue and naturals I use, and then of course my headliner and my most used workshop knife is my D. Kistner scribe knife. This is he did a cute little etching of the name Fickle on the blade. Boy, I really appreciate D. And again, made with Fickle skateboard wood on there. And boy, do I ever. I appreciate Tim and D and Ben so very much. Now, back to what we're talking about. So for skate shops, it's a complicated relationship because I have to build the reputation of my brand as a quality premium product, and then they have to be able to sell the brand as a quality premium product. And for a lot of skate shops, they really want to do it, but they can't. Their clientele, they feel they can't. It's a lot of work, and I respect that. To change the minds of youth around them, and I don't sell to that demographic, the kind of customer who's just looking for a popsicle to snap and then move on to the next one. I don't have any problem with that. I would have a problem with that personally. I like boards that are, that are ready to go, but and I make plenty of popsicles, but they really are good, and they're worth more and they cost more. And so I had to do business without skate shops for quite a while. In the last 10 years, I probably went from I always had a skate shop or two that I'd work with, but I really haven't focused on skate shops really heavily in a long time because they didn't exhibit the kind of market behavior that was conducive to success as a brand. Instead, I sell direct to skateboarders and really enjoy my interactions with my skater friends. In fact, David just printed out for me a list of the top 20 customers, and as we read through the list of our top 20 purchasers, every single name was someone I knew and skated with but one, and they are the most marvelous people, and it was the most positive experience listening to this list being read through that I can't say enough about it. It was terrific. It was terrific, and I enjoyed it so much. So, all of this said, you know, I used to work at a skate park too. 3 decks under their arms and break all 3. Yeah, those days are over. Now, I have multiple correspondences with retailers who carried my boards, and I have plenty of written proof that the main complaint of a retailer is twofold. 1, the boards last for months and months, and 2, that when the board finally fails or razor tails or just gets traded to someone else out of that love and generosity that so many skaters live in, that the skater wants another fickle. And it was hard for me to hear that. It hurt a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, I've made some skate shops really mad at me, you guys probably know, by calling out behaviors that I think are profoundly detrimental to the skateboarding community. And that I'm not sorry about, and I have no regrets or apologies to offer. But having a skate shop tell me that I don't get to play in the sandbox because my boards are too good really got in my head. And that discouragement is something that's only alleviated by you guys. That list of customers here and the people who I interact with every day, making your boards and moving things through, that's what keeps me really happy. When I get down in the mouth about things, because it's gnarly right now, you know, we've got the Olympics coming up, and we lost Lizzie Armanto. You know, she's going to skate for Finland. I don't know what to do. I'm beside myself. But that's how I work with shops. A quality relationship where the pre-order is flexible. It's released in batches. You can change up the shapes. You don't pay a dime for art. You don't pay for shipping. $55 a board. Sell them at $75 as premium. Sell them at $70. If you can't sell them for a $10 to $20 profit, that's troubling. And if you order a whole bunch, then you can even add $5 to your profit margin. I do discounts and stuff. But yeah, money is greater than people. You know, I try not to get too trippy or heavy about things. I am a very heavy thinker, and I have been really impacted by the role of greed in the skateboarding industry. And some of the outworkings of greed are kind of banal, you know, just sort of boring. But some of the outworkings of this greed are really creepy. You've got, you know, I still am not seeing the skateboarding industry or media. They're not going to touch some of the stuff that's happening, not even in the shadows of the industry, because they're afraid that the profit margins are going to be hurt if people start dealing with some of the dirty, nasty stuff that's going on. Now, I'm not interested in muckraking today, but you guys have heard me talk about a couple things before. But today, what do we got on the benches? We got, here's a spicy little Punk Point going out. 838 at the max, nice and small. This one is going out to a dear friend in California. I've got a very special board here. This one's going out to Tommy Story. This is your basic knucklehead going out to Tommy. I've got Flow. This is Matt Simpson's Flow. Birdman Jenkins Flow going out. 9-inch board, and this is cool. This is the markings you get when you're in a conversation with someone. Now this board is going out to a lady in Texas, and it measures in. Where is the grand silver ruler? There it is, hiding back there. This one measures in at 32 inches long, and I hope I got the width right on it. Oh, geez, it's huge. I can't remember what the width was supposed to be on that. It's a Gordon. That is 888. That's what they wanted. Yeah. Am I right? I think so. Yeah, it's 888 over the trucks. And this has got a Gordon nose on it, but it's short. It's short, so the nose is short. Plenty of kick in the nose. Nice, generous tail. I'm a 7-inch tail guy. And, oh yeah, 88 max. Let me see what I got. 88 max, and what did I get max? Well, typical. It's 9. I'm always cutting outside the line, guys. I'm not going to fix it. It's going to be fine. It's 888 on its, at some point. And we were talking about a punk point for a whole lot of time, if you're the person you know, but I think she's only on Instagram. We're talking about a punk point for a long time during it. I love looking at it right here. That's cool. We settled on a Gordon. And so the dimensions are all custom. We got Luke Coffey, his flow. He rides the classic. He's getting the classic with a 14.75. He's getting a little bit longer wheelbase on his classic, 14.75. And his buddy Aaron is getting an 8.75 bullnose popsicle. Sorry guys, had to decline a call. 8.75 bullnose. They're both going to Colorado. And then and this one is a 9-inch punk point, headed out to California. And that's I'm going to be punching and drilling these today, and they're going to go into finish and ship out in the next couple rounds of activity here. And then pressing a fresh round. I've got 3 boards up here for Steve O'Collins. Not going to show you those yet because they're prototypey and they're not cut yet. I'm still working on the shape. Steve, I'm slower than I thought I'd be, and that's something I'm starting to accept. My pacing is all off. I was having a confab with Sam Cook of Life Skateboards. Sam and we've been friends for a long time. I knew Sam back when he had his brain surgery. It's part of how Sam and I got to know each other. And Sam and I were talking about our workshops and our workflow. Because workflow, man guys, workflow, synergy, partnership, friendship, it's all super important for the accomplishing of these labors. And workflow is so impacted by rhythm. Now, some people, you know, I really admire people who are strong. Oh, my iPhone attachment just broke. You know, guys, I just have the weirdest relationship with tech. I do. I think I might have a backup. Let's see. This backup is broken too. But yeah, I have the weirdest relationship with tech. This little top piece just broke. It stripped out. I can probably glue and mount that. Mike V, Villalobos, good to see you, buddy. But workflow is so, I mean, I've got a lot of things in a day that I do. I still have 1 kid in school, and so Mr. Mom's taxi, running around the kid, making sure that Mama-san doesn't have to leave her job to go do stuff with him. And I can just get caught up in being a dad. Oh, Jeremy Garner is asking a great question. What is the longest you've worked on a? He's talking about time invested. Here's the thing. In order to make, I love this question. Let me talk about this because I'm passionate about this. Googly eye passionate. In order to make a great skateboard, I need my vape for this. Yeah, we're gonna have a chat. Let's find the vape. Let's see. That's not the vape. This is not the vape. Come on, guys, did you see where I put my vape down? Where's Waldo? There he is. All right. So, have I got battery? I got enough battery. Have I got enough fluid? All right, I can answer this question. All right, here's the thing. So in order to make a great skateboard, all right, see, I did another thing. I started to staple stuff you guys send me to the wall, and stuff I have hanging around. And I have a whole bunch of art I started doing some healthy things in here, man. I put this light up. This new light is really, really good for the workbench. You can see without the light, I'm back to kind of classic. I would have had a couple clip lights, and with the light, time invested is not as, it's all about mental focus. I need a stool. Headspace and mental focus are like 99% of what I do. To achieve making a great skateboard, I first took 4 months of going down to my workbench and carving out a concave. And I wept. I mean, I really cared. I really cared, and I also despaired that I would be able to succeed. I had been guaranteed that I would fail, and back then I was much more afraid of failure than I am now. Fear of failure is absolutely inappropriate for anyone that wants to build a business in craft. And I've had people who got early decks from me that were off. And I don't make very many decks that I would say are off. I had one returned maybe over a year ago. The guy said it was off, and I did a full measure up on it. And I think that deck wound up under Tim Worthen in Cleveland. Yeah, it was sent back to me. We refunded. No problem. I was grateful that they asked for a refund because their comments about it and then the subsequent measuring of it showed that it was not off. It was not. It was not. And it was a strange interaction, and I was just glad that we could satisfy the customer by returning their money, and I was happy. But it was a long classic, and but I've had customers early on treat my work with greater scrutiny than they treated any board they had ever owned. Taking out measuring devices, and I had one customer weighing my boards compared to other boards. The guy's an engineer, and when it went well, I was really happy and relieved. When it went poorly, I always, replaced the board and made sure I did better the second time. And I very rarely disagreed with their verdict until I learned more about, and I'd already learned a bit, the industry is making stuff wonky and wobbly all the time, and I've learned a lot about why skateboard production has up to 1/4 inch variances in the centering. 1/4 of an inch variance on centering. I mean, that seems insane, but you guys have been riding this stuff forever. And you've been riding stuff that's up to 1/4 of an inch off. Right now, I have my variances down to below 1/10 of an inch. That's real good. But the nature of drilling a center line on a curved object, especially for those of us who drill the holes before we finish the edges, that's one of the sources of the big variances. And one of the reasons I get my centers better done is because I finish the edges before I center. But you can't be afraid of that. But back to the question at hand. It's not about how much time I put in per board as it is about my headspace when I'm working. For me, if you want to ruin my work, all you have to do is ruin my mind. Make me anxious, make me sad, make me fretful. These are all things that it's my responsibility to fix. I shouldn't be given real estate in my head to things that make me anxious and make me sad and make me fretful and shut down my peace of mind. I should be able to be in one place at one time working this piece of wood. That means I'm a weak person. that means I'm weak. If I can't make a board unless I'm in the right headspace, but you know, being weak is not a crime. Being fragile is not a crime. There are a lot of things in the world that are fragile. Here's something that's fragile. This measures to the 1,000th of an inch, and it's a little gauge on there and all that. And if you don't treat it right, it won't treat you right. And I'm fragile, so things that really mess with my heart, mess with my mind, mess with my work. I think that's one reason that those of you who like the work, I think one reason you like the work is because the concave was carved by a guy who cares deeply about skateboarders. And I manage a very low output workshop that makes very good boards that are worth a premium price, because I care about the person riding the thing more than I care about anything else. And I'm learning to grow and mature so that I'm not given as much real estate in my head to things and people that ruin that workspace, that mind space. And I'm also learning to schedule my days and the asymmetrical schedule of life. For example, this winter I had to change my start time. I start in the workshop at noon every day. I have to work from noon on because my morning is fractured with a whole bunch of domestic stuff. My kid goes to 2 schools. He has to be taken to the first school, and then he has to be taken to the second school, and that coincides perfectly with, obviously, a Starbucks. You can tell I've had my Starbucks. I have a new drink at Starbucks now. It's a 4-shot espresso with a little bit of water, room for cream. That's perfect. It's only $1.95. Plus, I use the Cash Card. You guys know about the Cash App? This is not a paid endorsement. The Cash App allows me to get $1 off on every coffee. So that's 95 cents I'm paying for 4 shots of espresso. I mean, who can complain about that? I grab an espresso and I hit the shop here, and now the headspace is right. I'm going to be rolling glue and doing that. Now, I predict that I will continue to grow and mature, and my headspace will become more and more durable, and I'll be able to work in that Zen zone more and more as I go forward. One thing I learned to do is to really, really put the people who are enjoying these in my head first and foremost. Part of why we printed out our list of folks who are buying, who've bought the most Fickles, is we wanted to see, where the boards are going, but we also, I realized in doing so, I had created a great resource for myself, because that list of who's buying Fickles also contained the names of people who are near and dear to me, who I care about in skateboarding and who I really enjoy. So it's not about how long it takes to make the board. It does take a long time. The glue gets rolled, they're in there for 4 hours, they cure for 4 days, then they come in here. But boy, am I faster if I'm running batches that are bigger. The more boards get ordered, the more things run faster, and you get those quicker turnarounds. That's just true. And you can't rush that craft. I'm not going to press them for shorter, and I'm not going to cure them for shorter. But man, it's all about headspace for me, man. It's all about cultivating and defending the intellectual territory and the emotional territory of my head. I think a relative could die and I could work, but please understand what I'm describing. You guys know, a lot of you guys know what I've been through in skateboarding in terms of I made these boards, and even before, when I was marketing Fickle early, I marketed on quality and American production. I think those are 2 great reasons to go with a Fickle board for a little more money over the $35 to $45 shop deck. Here we have a shop that sells $35 shop decks just 15 minutes from my workshop. I don't sell anything out of my workshop. I don't retail. I only fill your orders when you order a board. That's all I do in here. I have people who will order a board locally and then they can come pick it up when it's done, but I don't do walk-in sales off the street. And that would be terrific, but I don't want to compromise the workshop for retailing. I always thought, when Fickle was young, I had 26 active shops. I had a 42 shop roster, shops buying, selling out, rebuying. Any day I had 26 shops in America selling my boards. And a lot of people were offended that my boards were selling so well because I'd never been pro. My graphics were very rudimentary. But the reason the boards sold was because we would go out in the van and we would skate with people. And the boards were made in America, and we had picked the least popular concave, which was really deep. And we'd been told by the production OEM that would never sell, it's too deep. And we said, nah, give it to us. Longest wheelbase, deepest concave, hook us up. They said, you're never gonna sell anything. Within a year, we were being bumped off that mold because everyone else wanted it. I was honored to get phased out. Hopefully for bigger dollars and better business. God bless the OEM who we used to work with. Man, quality does take time, and it does take more time. Paul Schmidt was in an article in the Ride Channel that referenced me. I was honored to be mentioned in the Ride Channel. There was also another small batch board makers article on the Ride Channel that was about me and some others. Ben Butler from Woodshop and some others were in there. And Paul Schmidt said, I think rightly, it's impossible to make boards with this kind of process. That kind of cure time, that kind of care put into every board is impossible. I don't think that, I don't imagine that he meant that it's impossible to make boards that way. That's what he said. I think it was hyperbole. I think what he intended was probably something like, it's impossible to make 14 million skateboards at that quality. I certainly can't make 14 million. What I can make is 250 a month. That's my capacity. There are some tweaks that could get me up to 400 or 500 boards a month out of this shop, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. I have no ambitions beyond that. Really, 250 boards a month, 300 boards a month is as far as I want this to go. This shop is not a factory. It's a workshop. And Jeremy Garner's question, his comment about how the amount of time put into something is directly related to the quality of it, it's true. It takes a lot of concentration to build a custom skateboard, and I will be the first person to say my custom boards tend to run a little wider than the ordered width. I am not the most precise maker out there. That said, I think that my boards have a lot of soul. I think that the qualities of the concave are remarkable, and I'm very proud and happy and more grateful, I think, because you guys know that I'm a God guy. I think that God blessed me with letting me do this. That's how I feel about it, and that is where I'm at with that. That was a cool question. Thanks, guys, for all the time that we got to spend together today. I'm going to get rolling some glue in there, and I'm going to do a repair on my tripod, and get my AV game going a little more. I hope that every one of you has a great day. It's wintertime here. I shoveled my backyard DIY yesterday. Everything's been melting off out there. It's in the 30s. That's skateboarding weather to me. I'm fine with that. It's in the 30s. I'm on keto, and I'm looking forward, though. I leave out of here February 26th for the Tampa Bro. I always leave the last week of February, and I always ride through some really crap weather down to the Tampa Pro, where we have the Tampa Bro. I'm gonna enjoy the fellowship of skateboard collectors and skateboarding enthusiasts. Was it last year or the year before? I got to heckle Ray Barbie while he was skating transition. I love heckling. I tried to tell a dirty joke to one of the Sodi guys, and it fell flat because I'm bad at telling dirty jokes. Anyway, here I was. We talked about some things. And I'm going to be back at you soon. I got to do more of these. I want you guys to see what's going on more. Love you all. And as always, hi, Mom. I love you.